Alright, actually before I start shaping up this wing, I'm actually going to add quite a few more cuts because I'm planning ahead. And as you can see off our reference here, oops, let me select our wing, Alt X, and let me go to the top viewport here. I'm going to plan for cutting these wing flaps right here. So I'm going to start lining up some of these verts to match, these wing flaps. And it looks like we got one right over here. We got two of them, so I'm going to prepare the cut for that wing flap as well. So I'm going to go ahead and take this edge right here. I'm going to ring it. Whoops. Let me ring it, not shrink it. Ring it. Connect. And I'm going to slide this one right over here. That looks pretty good. And then I'm probably going to do one more cut right here. So I'm going to ring this, and then I'm going to cut it by hitting connect. And I'm going to slide this one right about there. Alright, let me just test out these turbo smooths. Alright, we're still in good shape here. Sometimes you want to be careful about how close your edges are. We may have to remove some later. Alright, so now let's go ahead and let's shape up this wing now. So I'm going to grab the wing itself, hide on selected, Alt X. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take these verts, these tops and bottoms, and as you can see, I'm going to start shaping. I'm going to pull them back because we're going to help curve the wing slightly. So I can grab maybe these. Let's grab these ones and these ones. And as you can see, I'm kind of tucking them in, just like how we did the tail. I'll grab these ones. Maybe grab these. And I'm going to slightly bring those in, just by bringing them in slightly. We could possibly grab these all the way through and just kind of reposition those. Alright, let's grab these tops and bottoms and bring them in. Alright, let's go ahead and grab these. And let's see, we can grab these ones. By the way, I'm holding control down, so I'm grabbing multiple verts. Alright, we'll grab this one up here and this one. And we're just going to actually tuck these all in by the y-axis, just bringing them in slightly, just like that. Oops, I didn't mean to have these selected, so I'm going to deselect those by hitting Alt, holding Alt as I highlighted them. Alright, that looks pretty good. Could probably grab these and just help them out a little bit. Alright, let's take care of that front now. I'm going to grab these. I'm holding down control, by the way, as I'm kind of marking through them. Alright, and then I'm just going to tuck those back slightly. Whoops, look here, we don't want those selected. There we go. Alright, as you can see, we kind of help round off this plane's wing, the front end. Back end still kind of thick. Let's go ahead and test it out with our turbo smooth. Alright, next thing we're going to do is we're going to shape this wing out a bit. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and unhide my references here. I'm going to go to my front viewport here. Now I'm actually going to turn off my turbo smooth, and let's hit Alt X. I want to actually bring this down somewhere in the middle, and then I'm actually going to grab these verts and just raise them up to match the plane's, the wing, the shape of it. Now another thing, as you can see, it gets thicker, so we're going to have to take maybe just the tops. I'm highlighting through, raising those. We're going to take these bottoms here, match that up. We're gonna have to grab these, match these up. I'm gonna grab those, match that up, and then probably this one, these ones over here, raising those up. Alright, let's go ahead and match these up. Grab those bottom ones. And you notice when I'm highlighting through, that means I'm getting right through, you know, all of them. I'm going to scoot up for this one so you can see what's going on. We're going to grab these tips here, and we are going to, whoops, raise these up slightly. Yeah, I think we can actually, yeah, let's see, we can grab those. I guess we can grab them, possibly rotate them. Yeah, there we go. That's what we want. Alright, so we got the shape of it now, matching, you know, the image, the reference image. Let's go test it out here. I'm going to hide unselected. Alt X. And then as you can see, we got our wing shaped out. Throw my turbo smooth. Alright, so we got the angle of the wing. Now, let's kind of help it out now. We're gonna, obviously the wing kind of tapers off towards the back and towards the center here, so let's unhide our reference here. I mean, that looks pretty good up here in the front, but we gotta smash it in the back a little bit. So with my turbo smooth turned on, I got vertex. I'm hit showing results, so we're working in smooth form. And I'm going to start grabbing certain parts of the wing. So let me go ahead and bring the top viewport, or the top reference image, slightly down. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start grabbing some of these verts here. Just like those. And we're actually going to grab quite a few of them. Maybe just one whole side right here. I'm going to take my scale tool, and I'm going to grab it from the Z-axis, and I'm just smashing this down slightly. You know, we might have to, we'll have to do it little by little. So I'm going to grab these right here. I'm just going to kind of scale those down slightly, just like that. I'm going to grab these ones through here and just kind of scale those down. As you can see, we're thinning this wing out. I'm going to grab these ones right here. You know what? Let's go ahead and hide unselected and just work with the wing itself. So I'm going to grab, let's see, I'm going to grab these ones right here and just get them by the Z-axis, scale them down. Let's go ahead and grab, let me go ahead and grab all these right here. Just kind of scale it down slightly. Oops. Make sure you're grabbing all the way through. Like I said, I'm just shaping that up. Alright, we can probably grab some more of these, rescale those. Alright, we can probably, let's grab these, you know, just keep going until we get the look that we're looking for. That's pretty good. There we go. We're starting to shape them out. Now if it helps, you can probably start grabbing some of these over here. I'm just kind of scaling them down a little bit. Right here, we may keep these up. You know, if you have to, just grab these top verts and just kind of eye it out a little bit. You can do things like that. Or maybe just grab those and shape it out. Alright, we're looking pretty good so far. Let's go ahead and grab some of these and help it out. So I'm going to grab those and scale them in. As you can see, I'm smashing them down. Make sure we're getting the look you want. Actually, I'm going to Control Z on that. We're going to grab that whole stack right here. I'm just going to, there we go, smash that down a bit. Alright, we're looking pretty good. Yeah, there's a few parts we can probably tweak out. You know, we don't want these being sunk in too much. But for the most part, that's how you would thin out your wing a bit. You know, if you got some verts that are getting too tucked in there, feel free to grab some of those and just make sure you're not grabbing them on the opposite side. We can probably just pull those down a little bit. There you go. Just pop them off the mesh. There you go. Whoops, let's Control Z. Looks like we did something there. Yeah, you gotta be careful when you're grabbing. We can do ignore back facing. Just so, you know, we don't grab certain verts. Like here, I don't want those. But I did want those ones right there. I'm just gonna kind of pop that out. Oops, looks like we're missing something. Alright. There we go. Alright, for the most part that looks pretty good. I mean, I'm sure we can go back and shape things out. Alright, the next thing is we're gonna do is actually let's line this up a little bit more to our reference image here. I'm gonna actually grab these and just kind of shape them up. Alright, that looks pretty good. I think we're okay. A couple parts we could probably do to take care of this. I guess we can add maybe another cut. Here, let's fix this. I'm just kind of lining that up a little bit more. We can probably add. Oops, let me get my ignore back facing. Now, like I said, we can probably add one more cut right down there to help that wing out. I'm just going to take an edge here, ring it, I'm going to connect it, slide this one down all the way over here. Really close. There we go. And let me just hit Alt-X and let's test that out. Alright, that looks pretty good. Kind of shaping it out a little more. Alright, now we can start cutting in the details here. You know, we're going to start cutting these flaps out. Alright. Okay, let's go ahead and start on this wing right here. We're going to go ahead and detach some of these faces here and cut in some details. Alright, let me go ahead and I'm going to drop this green shader on here. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and just click on the wing, which I already have selected, hide unselected. I'm just going to work on this portion. Now, for example, we're going to go ahead and this part right here has to be detached, and same with this piece right here. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and just, I can do them all at once right now. Alright, so I got those faces selected. I'm going to go right here to my detach tool, and we're just going to call these flaps, and make sure these are both unchecked. That way we're just going to break it apart, we're not cloning it or anything. So press OK, and as you can see now, our wings or our flaps have been detached. Alright, but you want to keep them in their same spot here. Alright, I've noticed my pivot point's kind of in the front there. I'm going to go ahead and center that to the flaps. And the way we do that is we go to our hierarchy right here, effective pivot point, and I'm going to center it and then turn it off. Alright, now our pivot point's right there. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and hide those. Oops, let me click here, right click, hide. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start stitching this up. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is select my object, and I'm going to go to edge mode, and we're going to start bridging this. So I'm going to grab this edge right here and this edge. As you can see, they're selected. I'm going to click my bridge tool, and that basically closes the gap between them. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and zoom up. Here, let me bring this over. With this still open, I'm going to go ahead and hold down Control, grab that one, and down here, grab that. That bridges that. I'm going to grab this one and that one, and walk my, walk it all the way down here. Alright, that looks pretty good. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and just, here's my tool here. I'm going to go ahead and press OK. Alright, we're going to come over here and bridge these now. Alright, so I'm going to grab this edge and this edge, bridge, press OK, and then this we can just easily, we can just cap that off by, you know, selecting border and capping it off. Alright, we're going to work on this side now. I'm going to grab this edge, not the border, but this edge and this edge, bridge it, and then I can go to border, cap it, and we're going to work on this side now. Going to go to edge, grab this edge and this edge, bridge it. Let's go ahead and cap this. Alright, I'm going to go to this edge, hold down control, I'm going to bridge those. Alright, and then we can come over here. I'm just going to hit OK. I'm going to grab this edge, and if you hit Z, it'll Z up on that edge. And you notice when I rotate, it's not rotating on that edge, so I'm going to actually switch this to right here, where the, you know, you have the 1/4 of the pie covered in green. That should rotate on that edge. That's this. Remember, if you hold these down, you have different types of rotations. We want to actually rotate on the object or the segment or the section that we're selecting. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and grab this edge and bridge it, and then hit OK, and I'm going to grab this border and just cap it. Alright, right off the bat you can see that we have closed out all our gaps. Now I'm going to turn on my turbo mode. Look what happens. I'm going to turn it on. We're not quite getting the control we need. So this is why we're going to start controlling our geometry by cutting into it. So from here I'm going to actually take this edge, I'm going to ring it, connect, I'm going to slide this one right over here really close, press OK. Alright, now with that alone, when I turn on turbo smooth, you can see we had controlled that little area. Alright, I'm going to do it over here as well, on these sides here. I'm going to grab this edge, ring it, connect, and I'm going to slide this one all the way over here. That looks pretty good. We can even go a little bit closer. Well, we might have to add another cut in there, but I'm going to press OK, and then we're going to do it on the opposite side. So I'm going to ring it, connect, and usually, like I said, Max sometimes knows where to put it on the opposite side. Alright, so I'm going to turn on my turbo smooth. As you can see, we're starting to control that little area. Alright, and looks like we're going to have to add some cuts here. Control this little segment. Watch, when I turn it on, it's still kind of rounding off. So just to help that out, let's go ahead and take an edge here, ring it, connect it, and we're going to slide this one just on the outside right there, and then the opposite side. So I'm going to go ring, connect, and that's pretty good right there. And then watch when I turn on my turbo smooth, there we go. Got that little section controlled. Alright, now I'm going to go down here, do the same thing. So I'm going to grab this edge, ring it, connect it, slide this down. Remember, you don't want to overlap it like that. When you see your mesh do something like that, change shades like that, that means you're overlapping the edge. You don't want that to happen. So we're going to make this about a -99. Alright, and you know, if you want, you can always like just kind of slide it over a little bit, but you gotta be careful because you don't want to warp the mesh. We'll just eventually make another cut. Now, let me try it again. Let's go connect, and let's see how far we can slide that. Now we can only go one. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna actually hit OK. I'm gonna do it again, ring, connect. Just get that a little bit closer. And then I'm actually going to take this edge, loop it, hold down control, and use remove. If you don't hold down control, you end up leaving the verts behind. You don't want that to happen. So remember to hold down your control key. Alright, so, and let me explain that. Watch, if I just controlled Z to get the edge back. If I just hit remove, everything looks like it's gone, but notice we have floating verts. You don't want that. So when you remove an edge, hold down control, the control key, then remove. Alright, so I'm going to do it on this side now. Let's go ahead and actually we're going to do it right here. Ring, connect. I'm going to slide this one right over here. Press OK, and then turn on my turbo smooth. Alright, as you can see, we're starting to shape that out. Alright, now what we need to do is actually, this kind of rounds off right here. So we're actually going to throw some edges right along here. So I'm going to grab an edge here, I'm going to ring it, connect it, and I'm going to slide this one right about there. Looks like that went all the way through, and then we got to take care of these pieces on the opposite side. So I'm going to go here, ring, connect, slide that one there, edge, ring, connect. I'm going to slide this one opposite side right about there. Probably go a little closer. Alright, and then we got to do it right here as well. Edge, ring, connect, and slide this one back this way. Alright, now watch what happens when we turn on our turbo smooth. There we go, we have controlled, flatten that out a bit, and we have cut in and controlled our mesh. So let's go ahead and let's unhide everything. Let's grab the back end of the flaps. Alright, see, now we have to be able to control the flaps itself. Watch if I throw a turbo smooth on it. You know, we're not, well, it looks pretty good, but we still gotta close them off. Alright, remember we're going 2 ice line displays, but we gotta close these off now. So I'm gonna hide unselected, and we're gonna have to, like I said, weld them, and then you know, stitch back up. Alright, let's go ahead and stitch this up now. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. We'll grab this edge and this edge. We're going to bridge it. And I'm going to zoom up here, get it at an angle here. I'm going to hold down control, and we're going to just walk this all the way down. Oops, make sure you grab the right edges. Alright, that looks pretty good. Let's press OK. Let's go ahead and grab this edge, bridge it to this one. Alright, let's go ahead and grab this edge, bridge it to this one. And I believe we can start walking down this. That looks pretty good. Alright, let's go ahead and go on this side now. Let's go ahead and grab this edge, bridge it. Alright, we can start capping this. Let's go on this side now. We gotta cap this one. And then also right here. Alright, let's go on this side now. Bridge this. Oops, let me grab an edge. Bridge that. and then of course we can cap this. And I believe we have everything closed off now. Pretty positive we did. Let me grab an edge here and just kind of zoom up on it so we can walk around it. Grab an edge, Z up. Alright, I think we're good. Alright, so now if I turn on my turbo smooth, look what happens. We have to control it by cutting into our edges here. Or, you know, yeah, cutting those extra edges in. Alright, so let's get to work. Let's go ahead and take this one, ring it, connect it. We're going to slide this one right there. Now we can get a little closer, because watch, you know, the closer we get, the better the cut, or, you know, the harder the edge, I suppose. So we're going to actually do another one here. I'll go edge, ring, connect, and just slide that back a little bit, about right there. And then of course we can loop this one and remove it, holding control. There we go. Alright, that looks a lot better. Alright, let's go ahead and get this side. Edge, ring, connect. We're going to slide this one over here. Like I said, we could probably get a lot closer. Ring, connect. Don't get me wrong, you can always leave that extra edge if it helps it out. So if I wanted to, we can, you know, actually just have one right here. Ring it, connect, and let's just, we can help it out. Something like that. There you go. And like I said, if we have to, we can always remove edges. Let's go down here. Let's work it on this side. Edge, ring, connect. Press OK. That looks pretty good. Let me hit the Z so we can Z up on it. Like I said, we can always add another cut there just to help it out. So I'll even zoom up closer. Edge, ring, connect. We'll slide this one right about there. As you can see, it controls a little more. Alright, let's go down here. And did we, yeah, okay, yeah, we did close that out. Let me grab an edge. It's always good to grab like a vert or an edge or a face and Z up on it, so we're working really close in that area. Alright, so I'm going to grab this edge, ring it, connect, and we're going to slide this one over here, and probably just do another one for good measure. Ring, connect, something on the lines of that. There we go. Alright, now we just got to control this little area right here, this edge. I'm going to grab one of these edges, doesn't matter. I'm going to ring it, connect, and we're going to slide this right up against there. Alright, and then we got to do it over here as well. So let me grab an edge, I'm going to Z up on it. There we go. I'm going to ring, connect, and we're going to slide this one right there. And we gotta do, I think that's it. That's good. Alright, so now if I turn on my turbo smooth, there we go. We have this flap taken care of. Let's go ahead and hide the rest of the wing. Let me unhide all. It looks like my max is tripping out. Oh, there we go. Sorry. Alright, so I'm going to grab the wing, hide unselected, with Z up on it. Looks like we got some pretty good control of it. And don't get me wrong, there's certain parts, maybe the wing, we don't want this little dip right here on the flap. So, we can come back and I can take this, and you know what? I'm going to go ahead and remove these edges. This one, and this one. I'm going to loop them, hold down remove, just like that, and then throw my turbo smooth on that. That way we have, you know, the flap more in control. We don't want that dip, and then if we have to, we can go here on the other part of the wing. You know, I'm going to throw my turbo smooth and showing results here. Let's grab vertexes showing results, and then we can, you know, I'm going to grab those verts right here and hit Z. Yep. And we're just going to kind of raise this up a bit. There we go. That looks pretty good. And then of course if we wanted to, no, that looks pretty good. So there you go. Let me hit F4. There we go. We got our cuts in and we got our details on our wings. Alright, now check this out. I mean, I can actually take these. Let me hit F4. Let's turn off our turbo smooth. Let's turn off our turbo smooth here. We can actually detach these and make them separate if you wanted to. Or what we're going to do is actually just let's delete this turbo smooth here. We're going to take this wing, the big part, I'm going to attach it, turn on the attach button, and we're going to attach this piece to it, which is the flaps. So now they work as one. So I'm going to go ahead and throw my turbo smooth on one. There we go, 2 iterations. There we go. All right, so it looks like we got our, you know, our wing pretty much cut up. Let's go ahead and hide the rest of the model. Let's work on some of the details here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn on the turbo smooth here. All right, we're going to kind of shape this wing out a bit. All right, I'm going to unhide all so we can look at our reference. And let's start. Yeah, we can probably bring this slightly down. This. I want to keep that right there. We may make it a little wider. There we go. All right, and then we can start fixing this wing up a bit. Let's see how it's shaping up here. We can probably, let's go ahead and grab this wing, show on results, and we can start grabbing some verts maybe. Shape this out a bit. I'm just pulling it up a little. Whoops. Let me grab these. We can probably pull these up slightly. I think we want to go that route. No, we want to keep it there. I guess if we can probably pull these out. Let me go all the way through. Something on the lines of that. And let's kind of grab these. I'm just kind of blending this in a little bit. I want to make sure this is the first time I've ever seen this happen, but it's okay. Alright, what we could do is, let me Control Z. Alright, what we could do is let's take this wing slightly. I'm going to reset the pivot. And we're going to raise this up just a bit. I mean, obviously the wing doesn't go up that high, but we'll go something about like that. Alright, what I'm going to do now is, you know what? I'm just going to take these verts here and just pull them through slightly. Alright, and then let's go ahead and mirror this wing and see what happens. So I'm going to go ahead and let me turn off my turbo smooth here and delete that. Now with the pivot being way out here, let's reset it again. activate it. Let's move this to the center of that wing. Turn it off, and let's go ahead and throw our modifier of our either mirror, or we can symmetry it. Alright, there we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and kind of I'm in my mirror mode. I'm going to kind of slightly weld that, and then we're going to center this to the plane. Alright, let's go ahead and throw a turbo smooth and see what we got. Go to, and ice-line displays. And I'm hiding unselected. There we go. Technically, this is supposed to be kind of up. And don't get me wrong, I mean, if we were to actually model this, I'm doing this tutorial in stages so we can do things separately. Technically, I'd probably, if I really wanted to model a high res one, I'd possibly, I would build the wings right off the body. Like I said, this is not too bad. I mean, at least we got our wings on here. Alright, like I said, we'll come back and we'll shape things out a little more. Let's back it up here. Hit F4. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to work on the back wings. Knock those out the way.